When I look myself in the mirror and say, I think you're great, you can do anything, all I see staring back is someone who knows that A, I'm lying, B, knows I am unconfident, and C, now thinks I'm an idiot.
Me and my girl, we do cardio. I bang like Mario, cause stress like Sicario. But that catches party on, I'm a Gemini.
There's a YouTube comment I've been getting a lot recently. I wish I had your confidence. How'd you get to be so confident? And I'll let you in on a secret. I'm not. And in fact, I'd like to start this video off by listing to you my flaws. It's a long list. I am extremely insecure, so much fear of rejection, consumed by self-doubt. I hate talking to people, don't like going to new places, captive to wanting people to like me. Did I mention that I have a YouTube channel? I need people's approval. So I get this question a lot on YouTube. I did a lot of reflections on it because I was like, man, it's so funny that people think I'm confident, because I don't feel that way. I wouldn't describe myself that way. And yet I do make choices in life that have been bold, sometimes wild, and ultimately very fulfilling and have brought a lot of connection and like reward into my life. So if you find yourself wishing that you could live a more confident, empowered life, but you're like, oh, but I am not that way, that's the first mistake. Don't worry about the internal state. Instead, I like slowly over the years figured out these ways that I could make bold choices and live a bold, colorful, fulfilled life while still being the person that I am. I don't have time to change my whole personality, and I don't even think it's necessary, but it doesn't stop me from making bold choices. So I sat down and I collected my thoughts, and this is way too close to my face. Can you not? I have a feeling immediately that I'm gonna get very emphatic. I'm probably gonna end up yelling. If I end up yelling, I'm not yelling at you. If I'm yelling at younger me, young, sweet Caroline, because she was lost, and what a delicate little idiot. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay, this one's a crazy one. I'm really debated whether I should say this publicly, because this tip can also be like used for bad. It can also be used for evil against yourself. So don't do that. I hope I can draw the distinction here. I do have one skill. I would say I have one dangerous skill, which is that I'm kind of good, oh God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I'm kind of good at disassociating from my body. I'm kind of good at separating my mental experience from my physical experience. As I said, this can be a dangerous thing, so you know, take it with a fat grain of salt. But when this is an asset for me, when you think about something that you're scared to do, and you're like, oh, but I could never do that, I don't have the confidence. For a lot of these things, you don't have to have the confidence. You just have to have the physical ability to do the physical thing, and then the rest will kind of take care of itself. So even like something small, like, oh my God, I could never reach out to this person and like ask to have a networking coffee or ask them some questions or ask for the meeting. Like I would be so scared. Oh my God, I don't have the confidence. You don't have to have the confidence. All you have to have is the physical ability to type the letters on the email. That's it. You don't have to feel confident when you send the email, you just have to physically type it. Stop trying to think through how am I gonna get it done, and just focus on the micro physical steps you can do. I could never go skydiving. I could never jump out of a plane. Well, have you taken a step before? Hate to break to you, you can step out of a plane. You don't have to have the confidence. All you have to do is take a physical step or ask someone to push you. And then guess what? You're just in the air. I could never start a YouTube channel. How would that even work? What would people say? I thought about it for a year. Hold on, there's an airplane. I'm honestly talking right now. Can you please? I thought about making a YouTube channel for a year because I was so afraid. And eventually I was like, wait, bitch, you don't need to have the confidence to do it. All you need is the physical ability to go out and purchase a camera, figure out how to talk in front of the camera alone in your space, figure out how to get the memory card out, put it in your computer, and then press publish. Stop trying to think through how am I emotionally, mentally gonna handle it? How am I ever gonna muster up the courage to do it? Stop trying to think it through. Just do the physical step. Do the physical step to get the thing going. That was a crazy one. I hope everybody knows and understands how to not abuse that one. Because it can be dangerous. Can you tell? Can you tell that it's kind of crazy up here? It's kind of crazy. Okay. Hey, this channel is made possible today by Lilysilk. Lilysilk is a really special brand to me because they were actually my first ever YouTube sponsor. First ever. So we have a special connection. Lilysilk is a fan favorite. Notably, Lilysilk is a fan favorite by my best buds, Gwyneth Paltrow, Anne Hathaway. We're always texting about it. All three of us love Lilysilk. Lilysilk produces everything you can imagine with silk. Blouses, bedding, I have one of their bedding sets, tops, pillowcases, pajamas, eye masks. You've seen me wearing their clothing in previous videos, specifically this tank and cashmere sweater top. This is a cashmere crop tank. Pretty cool. Pretty sweet, pretty luxurious of me. There are a few things I find more uncomfortable than posing in outfits, but I'm gonna make you look at this. Look at this right now. Look at these poses. I bought these different cashmere tops for winter because Lilysilk items are just really, really high quality in addition to being extremely soft. I'm living for this cashmere. Lilysilk produces everything you can imagine with silk. Pillowcases, pajamas, blouses, bedding. I have one of their bedding sets. My sister Elizabeth actually got me into silk bedding. She's obsessed with it, and it really is just like always cool to the touch and so soft. If you haven't slept on silk bedding before, you gotta start living life. It's a magical experience. You'll feel like a princess. I find it's really nice, especially in the winter when there is heat like blasting through my apartment. I get sweatiest in the winter, and in Lilysilk's like silk bedding sets, pillows, I also have a silk duvet. I'm never getting sweaty. I'm never feeling like strangled by my sheets. Lilysilk is environmentally conscious, using nothing synthetic, only natural materials such as mulberry silk, Mongolian cashmere. Lots of benefits to sleeping on silk. Silk is naturally hypoallergenic. You'll never be feeling itchy in the sheets or having like a light reaction to some chemical in the fibers, which has happened to me. The fabric is just extremely breathable, the softest, lightest fluff. I've definitely slept in like scratchy, itchy sheets before, and it's nice getting into a bedding set that I know I'm not gonna have like a weird skin reaction to. After one of my friends came over and was like laying on my bed with me, I actually ended up giving her a Lilysilk bedding set for her birthday because she loved it so much. It's just kind of impossible not to like, look at all these shots of me petting different fabrics. I feel like that's weird, but it's so soft and I need you to know. Recently, in addition to this cashmere crop sweater combo, I also have a cashmere turtleneck from them. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. Look at these poses, look at them. Look at them hard. This is one where I was laughing. That's a cool, cute one. Hello? Lilysilk also abides by zero waste. Their fabric remains are used to make accessories like their silk eye masks and scrunchies. It's very sweet of them. Ooh, that was a cool pose. They also, one thing I appreciate about them is they also just have really beautiful packaging, which I've said this before, I'm a sucker for packaging, but it also means you can give it like as a nice gift to somebody. It's already kind of a luxurious gift, and it comes wrapped in like beautiful bows and ribbons. It's very sweet. I also like to save the boxes to give as gifts anytime because they're just pretty boxes. Who doesn't like that? I like it. They make great gifts. Give it to yourself, give it to someone else if you're feeling generous. I'm not. I got this all for myself. I'll put links to all of the products that I have from Lilysilk that you're seeing here. I'll put a link in description if you guys want to check out Lilysilk and get a code discount, and thank you to them for making this YouTube channel possible from day one. From day one. Very special. Back to the video. I want to talk about embarrassment. Embarrassment is part of the matrix. It's not real. There is nothing there. Embarrassment at best is ideas about somebody else's theoretical ideas about you. It's not real. A very small micro example that still involved embarrassment for me. Recently, I put out a YouTube video about how I learned to love exercise, and it involved a lot of filming at the gym. Objectively, one of the most mortifyingly embarrassing things you can do. Filming in public at all, let alone at the gym, filming yourself working out, like objectively humiliating. People even left comments on that YouTube video being like, how did you hide your camera when you were filming this at the gym? Because we all know it's humiliating. And I would be at the gym and like sometimes I would try to hide my camera, you know, be subtle about it. And then there would be a moment where there was one shot in particular, there was nowhere for me to hide my camera. And I literally stood there being like, Should I get this shot and embarrass myself, or should I not embarrass myself and not get the shot? And in that moment, I said, bitch, stop. What are the things you're choosing between right now? The things I'm choosing between is like making a really great video that I really care about and completing it the way I want to complete it, or a stranger who I've never spoken to and will never speak to and may never see again, possibly having a fleeting thought of judgment about me that I'll never hear about. Those are the things I'm choosing between. I stopped myself, I saw both of thoughts, and I'm like, I'm gonna make the video. How about that? How about I'm gonna make the video? Someone did walk by and they saw the camera, and guess what happened? They saw it, they stepped over it, and they went to finish their workout, and we both went on living. There are literally no consequences to experiencing embarrassment, but there are consequences to cutting out the things you want to do in your life because you're afraid of embarrassment. That's like a micro example, who cares? But the exact same thing applied to so many decisions I made in life. Whether I was willing to quit a career, it was going to be a very public and embarrassing career quit, and I would have to explain it to people all the time, and oh my God, they would know I'm such a failure. Okay, so the options are stay in a career that I hate for the rest of my life, or like let some people at a party have a fleeting moment of being like, oh, I guess she quit. Those are the choices. Look at the choices that you're holding. Same with starting a YouTube channel. Objectively, one of the most mortifying things a person can do. I'm not gonna say people won't make fun of you. For sure, there are people who have made fun of me in my life, rightfully so at moments, but they certainly weren't people who like knew me or like saw me for my soul and understood why these decisions were important to me. What are the things that you are stopping yourself from doing because you're afraid of what people will say about you? It's the Matrix. It's not real.
All right.
I have been particularly haunted in my life by not being understood by people, by friends, by coworkers, by the internet, and most notably actually in romantic relationships. They kept misinterpreting a core part of me, kept writing a narrative about me that just wasn't true, and I just wanted to prove to them who I was and that I was good. Wanted to prove it to them, to show it to them, to explain it to them. That's chaos. That's a recipe to have no peace for the rest of your life. And let me tell you what my mantra is these days. I don't remember where I heard this, but I didn't come up with this. Self-esteem is the reputation that you build with yourself. You will be misunderstood by people in your life. You're not gonna be able to perfectly convey who you are in your soul to people all the time. People are gonna make assumptions, people are gonna get you wrong, people are gonna misunderstand you, and it's gonna really hurt. It's like one of the most painful things to feel. What I try to focus on is my reputation with myself. I know if I'm a person who is honest. I know if I'm a person who does what she can for her friends. I know that I'm a person who is not gonna manipulate situations. I know I'm someone who has genuine, fascinating interests, even if somebody else thinks I'm lame. Self-esteem is the reputation you build with yourself. It still hurts when people misunderstand you, but it doesn't have to be crippling. And you have this other truer thing to fall back on, which is what you know to be true about yourself. And that's the only thing you can control, unfortunately. The people pleasing is so hard for me, like wanting to be liked. I want to emphasize how much of a struggle that is for me. Sometimes I think about the fact that I have a public profile on the internet, and it's like, I kind of think of it as this like poetic challenge from the universe. They're like, oh, you want to please everyone. You want to be liked by everyone, huh? Well, deal with all these comments, deal with all these opinions, infinite opinions. And sometimes they're super nice, and sometimes they really misunderstand me. Deal with that. It's this amazing poetic challenge that I have conjured up for myself. It's just an intensified version of what we all experience all the time. We're all being exposed to people's opinions, people's hot takes on us. Girl, I don't even have the time. I don't have the time for all of these opinions. Work on your opinion of yourself. Write it down. Write it down. Okay, this one is a bit, I don't think it's that controversial, but it's gonna make some people uncomfortable. Hear me out, or don't. I do strive to be respectful, kind, considerate. Those are values. Something that is not a value for me is politeness. I've got a bone to pick with being polite. I just find it to be a bit inefficient. Going out to dinner, for me and my girlfriends out to dinner, the waiter comes over. What can I get for you guys? Everyone's ready to order. Everyone knows what they want. And this is what happens. Do you? You go first. You go first. You? What do you want? You go ahead. You go first. Somebody better order. Somebody better order or I'm leaving. Who benefits from this thing? Who benefits? This is not a grace that I need to receive from you. To order my dinner 3 seconds before you, he's gonna put it into the computer at the same time anyway. This is inefficient. Order your food before I slap you. And you know what? I'm not gonna say that to somebody. So instead what I do is I just order. Great, I will be the first one to order. Is that what you need? Is that what we need to get this going? Can we all move on with our lives? I will order then. And then people interpret that as being like, oh, you're so bold, you're so direct, you're so blunt. It's like, no, like we're all dying. We're dying at this dinner table. And that's obviously a superficial thing. I think we can all laugh at that and be like, yeah, duh, that's not a life value. Like, why do we need to do that? But I see it as something that in particular, a lot of women struggle with. Generally, I do see a lot of women struggle with the like politeness gesture. And there's times when being polite and letting someone walk through the door before you, you know, giving someone else the right of way, like I do also do those things, but only if it makes people's life easier. Like this bullshit does not make anyone's life easier. It doesn't make anyone's life better. It's weird. Wow, my hair looks crazy as soon as I started yelling. Okay, being out with friends and deciding what do we want to do and everyone's being like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Someone better start caring or I am going to jump off a cliff. It's okay if you don't want to do what I want to do and I don't want to do what you do. Like, we'll still find a way to bridge the gap, but like, let's start saying it. I have one friend in particular who like takes this like anti-politeness to the nth degree. She has no concern with being polite. I'll tell you what, it's shocking to be around. It's jarring to be around. And then once you get used to it, it's so freeing because when I'm with her, I know that whatever she says is true. I know how she's feeling. If she's mad about something, I'm gonna hear about it. I never have to guess. And then I think sometimes it actually just ends up creating a culture where like, now we're all comfortable being direct and we all know that we'll survive directness. And we know we'll all survive like disagreeing over something. I'm not gonna stop being your friend because we disagree about what we want to do this evening. I'm here to spend time with you. So like, I bet we'll figure out something we want to do. So that's one thing I think I do that people often interpret as being like, wow, you're so blunt. I'm just trying to get stuff done before we die. There's such a freedom in saying what you want, knowing that you're saying what you want and that the other person is saying what they want. They might not match up, but you can figure it out from there. At least you're starting with the truth. I would say that's something I'm really bad at doing with dating. I'm pretty terrible at that. I don't know why. Something changes and I'm working on it. But with friends and with work, you're gonna know what I think. And we're all just gonna be free. It's gonna be fine. You have to do it respectfully. Did I have to say that again? Like, you do it respectfully. You're still respecting yourself and you're respecting the other person, ideally. Sometimes I mess up. Sometimes I have to apologize. Yeah, okay. You know, affirmations didn't really work for me. It didn't work to try and convince myself out of my internal feeling. And more importantly, my tendency to question myself a lot, being consumed with self-doubt. Those things make my life hard, but they're also values that I wouldn't ever want to give up fully. They make it easier for me to learn from my mistakes. They make me open to new ideas. They're like the foundation on which I connect with most people because they're very human, relatable qualities. I'm not trying to eradicate those anymore. Feeling confident isn't feeling all the time like I'm great. To me, it's more about knowing who I am. The things I believe in, the hills I will die on, the hills I won't, what I am insecure about, what I do struggle with. I still feel so much fear of rejection, so much fear of disappointment, and I know I will survive it. It's not about not feeling hurt or not feeling scared. It's knowing that you will survive those things. And the only way to learn you'll survive it is by exposing yourself to those disappointments. It's exposure therapy. If you never apply for the job because you're afraid you don't get the job, then A, you could get the job and you'll never know. B, you don't get the opportunity of not getting the job and watching yourself successfully survive that disappointment. You realize it won't kill you. It's something I actually think about in dating a lot. I'm single, I'm dating. Rejection from guys still hurts. I'm a human, it still hurts. But I almost count it as like assets I'm gaining. Like, let's rack up as many rejections as possible and I'm just like surviving it. And it doesn't scare me that much anymore. It's so survivable once you start doing it. Here's a big one that changed for me. Valuing just an experience, an isolated experience, over valuing like, well, what's the point? Well, where's it going? But what does it lead to? What's the point though? Where does this fit into the longer story arc of my life? Is a really limiting question to ask. It relies on you being able to predict the important things, the important events, the important people you will meet in your life. Most of the time, those important people, those life-changing moments, life-changing jobs are things we never expected. We're focused here, 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 and then I met this person in a cafe and it changed my life. It's usually things you're not able to predict. So always choosing events or activities based on like what it leads to and what it builds to, it cuts out a lot of extra stuff. Do shit just because you think the experience would be fun. I don't want to take this too far into hedonism, and there's obviously places in your life that this does not make sense to do. If you've got kids or you've got a career that like you got to go to medical school for, like there's certain things that have a path and you need to do long-term planning for. There's times where it's nice to ask what's the point, and I think there's a lot of times where I do it personally, I do it at a detriment to myself. I don't always need to know what the point is. It's actually kind of fun to show up and just be like, I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's kind of like a weird adventure, right? Why am I here? Whatever your goal is, whether it's to make more friends, get involved in like a new hobby you love, find a new job you love, all of those are gonna take a lot of like throwing stuff up against the wall and seeing what sticks. So you show up, you release any expectation of what the point is, and know that like a lot of them are gonna be duds. You go on a lot of dates, most of them aren't gonna work out. You meet a lot of friends, they're not all gonna be soulmates. You go try out a bunch of new hobbies, you're not gonna love all of them. And that is still like part of the successful recipe. Am I saying anything? I don't know. What am I saying? I think you get it. Okay, I'm gonna bring the vibe down for a second. Some of the biggest agents of change for me were huge moments of loss, death, heartbreak, hitting rock bottom, basically loss. I'll give some examples. A friend breakup. There's something really singularly crushing about a friend breakup as opposed even to a romantic breakup. Because with friends, it's like there's no agreement that we have to have exclusivity. So if we have a friend breakup, it's like you really don't want to see me again. You know, it's quite hurtful. And it is also an opportunity to really think about what are the hills you die on. Let's say we have a friend breakup and it's over XYZ things that happened or parts of my personality or things that I did or said. This is an opportunity now to think like, okay, how much does that thing matter to me? Is that actually a core part of who I am? Or it could be a moment where you're like, wow, I was clinging to being this way and acting this way, and look what it cost me, and maybe that's a big moment for change. But like a friend breakup, one of the most crushing things you can go through, and it can be a really helpful way to focus in on like, well, who am I? What do I stand by? Or how do I want to change for the better? Another kind of death, having a dream die, your dream career, your dream relationship, your dream for the future, what you thought your life was gonna be like. I really recommend having that murdered in front of you. It is the freest you'll ever be, because often those dreams are like a track we've set ourselves on. I'm gonna be this person. I'm gonna be with this person. I'm going to do this thing in my life. And then you kind of get into a trance and you can start making choices in your life, and they're not even really choices. You're sleepwalking a little bit, where you're no longer thinking about like, how does it feel to be doing this thing? How does it feel to be dating this person? How does it feel to be in this career? And you can get really out of touch of that. So once you have it snatched out of your hands and it's no longer even an option, it's the freest you'll ever be, where you're gonna say, oh my God, well, that's not an option. So what do I actually want my life to look like? Once that was gone and off the table, I could think, sure, I'll go learn to be a coder. I'll get into interior design. I'll move to this city. You know, like who cares anymore? Like I already didn't get the thing I wanted. It will bring so much more bold choices into your life once you're not desperately set on one thing. So if you've had a dream die, congratulations, you're free. Now you can actually start doing things you want to do and trying stuff. And it's very painful. You have to go through some grief. Making bold like life decisions and taking leaps is one thing. But a lot of time when people talk about confidence, they're thinking about like, how do I just show up as myself? How do I embrace my personality? And that's almost harder, I think. The best way to learn to show up with your genuine personality, your genuine interest, this is what I recommend. Spend years, decades trying to be someone else. And let me know how far that gets you. Spend years trying to relay the personality that you think people will like, and let me know how many friends it gets you. Because I did it for a long time, and it actually didn't make me any lonelier. It didn't find me any more connection. People can smell it. They can smell it. And the worst part about showing up as something that's not really you is that you'll still get rejected. You will still get rejected. And then on top of it, you have this regret where you're like, wait, but that's not even like who I am or what I like or what? That was the point of that. Rejection is gonna happen in life regardless. Like, we're just not all for everyone. Shout out to my podcast, Not For Everyone. It's a good one. It's a good one. You should listen to it. If you are for everyone, if you are literally for everyone, like, you're just not really being yourself, is my hot take. Rejection is gonna happen, but it's so different to experience rejection when you're like, well, I stand by everything I said. I stand by how I showed up and who I am. So if they don't like that, that's still disappointing because I liked them, but that's who I am. And I'm not willing to be a different way. I strongly recommend go try to be somebody else and let me know how rewarding it is. It's not a great time. Also want to say that all the things I'm talking about here, I hope this goes without saying, but like, I don't do them perfectly and flawlessly and consistently all the time. I'm failing and trying again all the time. Am I acing it all the time? Nah, dude, nah. I don't want anyone to be sitting there thinking that I'm being like, I figured it out. No, dude, I'm struggling. I'm doing my best. We're all doing our best. If you feel unconfident, if you feel uncertain, consumed by doubt, same, dude. I see you. I see you and I feel seen. And I bet you can still identify something today that you would like to do that you're not letting yourself do because you're afraid of what other people think. Take the risk. It'll be worth it. I don't even know what I just said over the last hour. I feel like I did scream a lot. I hope that was okay. I hope you liked the video. I always forget to ask people to like the video. If you liked it, I think it helps to like press the like button, whatever. Just live your life, whatever. Ooh, next week, what's coming up next week? Next week is a video people have been asking for a while, like some home upgrades, home updates. I haven't shown updates in my home in a while. So there's gonna be some home decor updates, some cool stuff. It's gonna be hot, it's gonna be steamy. No, it's gonna be normal. And yeah, stay tuned for that. I feel like the sun is like really shining on me radiant style right now. It's a good day. All right, I'll see you around the channel soon. Go do something risky and embarrassing. It'll probably be fun. Bye.